Good evening, everybody. Good evening, good evening. As you can see, I have on my Beauty Beyond Breast Cancer shirt from last Sunday's event, which I did a fashion show model of. I'm real proud and real happy to say I was part of an eventful time of my life where women got together, came together, and we showed that we were victorious in overcoming breast cancer. Like the word says, we overcome by the word of our testimony and the blood of the Lamb. And I am here come November 1st will be my pink birthday. So I'll have pink balloons all in my front yard, all in my tree, probably all on my van, stickers or whatever, just celebrating my pink birthday. So that's quite an accomplishment for me. It'll be 6 years since I've been a breast cancer survivor. Some time ago, earlier last week, speaking at my school where I teach at, excuse me, country girl. I know that's not good to do, but I had to do it. And come on, pink lemonade, come on. Okay. And retake of my video and tell you all my testimony and how I overcame, how the Lord, I give God the glory. It's not on me, it's God. And look like by this way of me doing it, I like to be able to take my time and tell the story. I'm hoping that this will touch the hearts and mind of some women. Pink lemonade, yay! And would really encourage some people that need to be encouraged in the Lord. Excuse me. Okay. I took a fluid pill, so some of this fluid can get off my body. Okay. Let me start over. I got eczema on my face, so if you see me scratching, like this, it's because I got eczema. And eczema was happening like a week before the event. It usually happens to me every year around this time, September, October. I itch like crazy. And it's because I take other medications as well, for other comorbidities that I deal with. And I'm trying to fix this hair, honey. I had this all together. Lord Jesus, come on now. You're doing your own thing. The price you pay for one look per day. Okay. Anyway, I like to kid around. Okay, so let me get to my point. I just leave this alone. It's gonna do what it want to do. It has its own attitude. Let me get this. Hold on. It's bothering me. That's my phone. Oh, and I got me a new bag. I got me a new pink bag. Yeah, honey, I got me another one in my collection. Pink bag, pink brush. Yeah, and get me a pink wallet after a while. Let me bring this back like that. You know how we do it with these wig brushes, honey. You know how we do. You know that's how we do. Okay, all right. Bring it up a little sloppy, a little neat. Okay, press that down right there. All right, everybody's in this place. All right, everybody's in this place. All right, all curls in this place. Let's go up. Okay, all the curls in this place. Let's go. All the curls in this place. Let's go. Okay, let me get that curl right there. Okay, all the curls in this place. Let's go. Oh, yes. Okay, now I'm through primping. I should be through primping. You know how we ladies do. We love to primp, 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 primp. Anywho, so let me tell you about my breast cancer story. So it goes back. Let me go back to when I was 24 years old. That's that eczema. And no, this was not because of the makeup or the fashion show. Let me put that disclaimer out there. I get this every year. Even on the back of my knees, I get this every year. So no, it has nothing to do with the makeup artist. Let me put that out there. Okay. So going back to when I was 24 years old in 1994. Yeah, when I was 24. And I was in 5 auto accidents back to back within a 5-year span. The last accident I was in totaled out my car. Thank God my sister wanted to ride with me somewhere to visit a friend. And I told her no, that I wanted to hang out with my sorors and all like that. And so, I was glad that at that moment she didn't go because the way that car was smashed on the passenger side, if she had been in that passenger seat, I would have to this day never forgiven myself. Never, never. My sister Katrina and I miss my sister. She lives in Mississippi, in Brandon, on the outskirts, of Jackson. And Trina was like my baby. That was my baby. And I think until after she had Cassie and married, and well, after she had married and had Cassie, and I took her to church, and that's when she put me on blast and told me she was not my baby sister. So I knew at that moment I had to let her go. I had to let her grow up. She was my baby doll. I remember toting her on my hip, just as clear as day. My mom would scream, "You better not drop my baby." And I wouldn't drop her. I would say, "She too heavy. Come get her." But she was just a little chunky. Trina was chunky. She was a chunky little baby. And but I loved her. She was just so cute. I love babies. I wanted to be a neonatal nurse practitioner. I love babies. But anyway, I still get that sometime where I go into the grocery stores and I just have to smell a baby blanket, or I don't want to pick up people's children and smell their babies because I don't want them to think I'm weird. So I'll go and I'll sometimes just randomly go in the baby section and just smell baby blankets, baby lotion, you know. Anyway, I'm gonna cry, so I'm gonna leave that alone. That's another part of my life that I miss. Anyway, so 1994, that was the last auto accident I had, I think. And it lashed that seatbelt in my car. It was a Dodge Sundance, a Plymouth Sundance. It was a Plymouth Sundance. And it lashed my breast so hard that it left a lasting burning impression in my breast. And what happened? Um, that it was a knot there. So I was concerned about, why a knot was right there, and so it never dawned on me about cancer or anything or breast cancer. When you're young like that, you don't really hear much about that. People talking about it, at least not in that day and time. They didn't talk much about it. Um, so I went and had it done. I remember Dr. Sanders when I worked at Kelsey. I worked there for like 5 years, and he examined me and he did a biopsy. He took it out and did a biopsy on it, and he said it's benign. And I said, "Oh, okay, no big deal." So it never dawned on me, to think about it like that. But he kept telling me, you need to have your breast checked every year when you go and have your well woman's exam just to make sure you're okay. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have this check. I hear about breast cancer, but I'm young. This would never happen to me. That's my mind thinking. Because I guess when you're young, you think you're inevitable to ever be damaged or diseased or infected in some sort of way. You think because you live in a good, clean life and, you know, um, it would never affect you, right? So that was my thinking. So I did what the doctor said. So it was like every time I had a well woman exam, I would always tell my doctor, hey, I need you to order for me to have a mammogram done just to make sure my breast is okay. My doctor is, saying that I need to have a mammogram done. Excuse me. Mm, I got 3 bottles of water up here. I am parched. So anyway, so I did that. So here we are 19 years later. I'm 43 years old. And I went through job trauma. I went through a horrible job trauma. I mean, I had like haterators you wouldn't believe uh, back in 2009, 2010. It was awful. It was really awful. I mean, people that I thought would be my friend weren't my friend. I had weight loss, my first weight loss surgery. Hold on just a minute. Bobby! Bobby! Someone's ringing my doorbell. Let me go downstairs. It's the kids, ain't it? Okay, Bobby, I got it. Never mind. I got it. I got it. Right there. But okay, I got it. Right. Okay. I am so sorry. That was the neighborhood kids. Anyway, so let's see here. So, uh, forgot. So, yeah, I was in a funky time of my life, and when I left that company or organization, shall I say, I noticed a nodule started developing in my right breast, which was the same right breast from before. And I stay in a two-story, so I'm out of breath going up and down the stairs, which is good for me. I need that. So anyway, a knot started developing right there. So as soon as the knot started developing, over time, I was thinking, it's no big deal. It's a fibroid. It's gonna go away like it did before. So, anywho, it kept getting bigger and bigger. And of course, me being married, my husband's like, what's this? What's this? And I'm like, oh, it's just a knot. I had one there before, when I was 24. I just need to go and get some insurance and I go back into teaching. And they're gonna remove it and it's gonna be a benign fibroid. No big deal. I knew fibroids were prevalent in the Black race and in minorities. So me being Black, African American, Black, tomato, I'm Black. I knew that maybe I was part of that statistic. It's no big deal. It's just something that occurs. Anywho, so when I had a mammogram done, this was like a few weeks after I got hired back on to teach. And when I had a mammogram done, they did my mammogram. And then they say, Miss Harper, you need to have a seat. I said, oh, okay. We need to double check your mammogram. I said, oh, okay. Fine, no big deal. Usually they do that, just to make sure. So, I'm like, okay, they're going to find everything is okay. I know they're going to find that nodule. I mean, that bump. I call it a bump. And they're going to say it's benign tumor, blah, blah, blah. Okay. And I'm going to tell them, I'm going to get it removed. I just need to check it so I can tell my doctor. So then they came back and they squeezed my boobs some more, both my boobs. And then it was like, okay, Miss Harper, you need to have a seat. I said, okay. So it still didn't dawn on me. It was no big deal, right? So then they say, we need to have a mammogram, ultrasound of your breast. I said, okay. So they took me back there to have an ultrasound done. And, they were just talking to me, trying to get me all, calm and what do you call that? My mind off of it, not on it so much. And I wasn't nervous. So she was like, okay, I need you to just lay right there. Let me go get the radiologist and have her to come do this ultrasound just to make sure. I said, oh, okay. So by this time, the radiologist, they had, Dr. Hervey, they had put a sheet, I'm laying like this, and they put a sheet across me like this, an examination sheet. And, they were just, I'm trying to figure out what are they whispering about? What are they whispering about? And I said, girl, set your mind on things above. Don't even sweat that. It's okay. It's gonna be okay. So By this time, they pulled me up and they said, Miss Harper, we need to talk to you. I said, okay. They said, Miss Harper, when are you, uh, Miss Harper, you have breast cancer. I'm like, okay, so when are you going to remove it? They said, okay, Miss Harper, did you not hear what we said? You have breast cancer. I'm sitting up like, I heard what you said. When y'all gonna remove this? And then they were like, Miss Harper. And I just like, and my eyes just welted up. And I'm like, I hear you. I don't receive this. First of all, I don't believe this. Because this was supposed to be another benign tumor like it was 19 years ago. I was fine then. I'll be fine now. I just went through trauma. What more can I go through in my mind? You know, so then the Dr. Herbie, she gave me a hug. Her nurse tech gave me a hug, and I just sat there and I was in shock. So I went to my well, it was a Jeep that I was driving at the time. It was a Jeep. So I went to my Jeep, and I sat there in the Jeep, and I felt like a zombie, and I couldn't understand what just happened to me. Why did this happen to me? And so I'm like, I got a business meeting to go to. One of my colleagues from grad school is trying to do some marketing for me, and I really don't have time for this. And I'm like, Tara, you know you're a strong girl. Suck it up. Suck it up. And keep it moving. And that's how I've always been like that, where I just sucked it up and move on, sucked it up and move on. I didn't deal with my issues. I always put my issues on the back burner. I didn't like deal with it like cry, get it out, process it. Okay, I can't wrap my mind about it, but let me go deal with the fact that this is here. What do I do next? That's how you process it, deal with your pain, your injury to insult, if you will, whatever in life. So I went to my meeting, met up with my colleague, and he was like, you're not coherent. And I told him what happened. He said, I'm so sorry. Breast cancer affected his mom. And I'm not sure it was Amy or somebody, but he told me. I remember his mom for sure. And then he said, go home, tell your husband about it. We can always meet up another time. I said, okay. So I couldn't even eat my Luby's food. When I'm depressed, I don't eat. When I'm happy, I eat. So I've been a very voluptuous, happy girl. So um anyway, so I got home. It was the president's speech. And I was trying to tell my husband, but he was too busy trying to watch Barack Obama give his speech. Look at that curl right there, just has its own mindset. Look at that curl right there, just has its own mindset. Anyway, I'm a perfectionist. It's just terrible. I really have an issue with that. I'm really trying to get better with my perfectionism. I have an issue. Anyway, so I went in the room and I cried. Then my husband came in and he asked me what was wrong. And I told him what happened. And he was like, I'm so sorry. Now, sometimes most husbands, they don't know what to say. They get speechless. He was like, I'm so sorry, and, gave me a hug, but he didn't know how to really console me. He just said he was sorry and hugged me, and that was it. I don't think it was so much that he didn't care. I think it was just he just didn't know what to do. And that's most men. They don't know what to do. So a few days later, I flew out to be with my sister for her breast issues, for her health issues. And I never told her, I vacillated. I was like, Okay, should I have a biopsy? Let me go schedule it. Then I come back outside. Let me cancel it. Then I go back inside. Let me schedule it. Okay, let me go back out. Let me cancel it. So then I was schedule. And finally, I finally scheduled it, came back to Houston, had the biopsy done. I didn't want to tell my family or anybody until I knew it was for certain. You know, sometimes we can jump prematurely to stuff and it ain't what we think it is. And so I did that. So then I had the biopsy about 2 days later. Uh, I'm getting ready for my niece, my oldest niece, her wedding. I'm getting ready for her wedding rehearsal. It was on a Thursday night. And my doctor calls me an hour before I can get dressed. And he says, Ms. Harper, I need you to come see me. I'm like, Doc, I live way across town. I'm like a whole hour from you. I can't do that. He says, oh, okay. And he says, well, you sitting down? I said, yeah, I'm sitting down. And that's when he says, Ms. Harper, you have breast cancer. The biopsy came back and it showed you have breast cancer. And he said, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. So sorry. I said, it's okay, Doc. It's okay. And then he says, do you, what was it? He said, do you want me to schedule you to see a breast surgeon? I said, yes. Could you please? I said, because I don't know of anybody right now at this day and time. And I wasn't thinking too clear. He said, well, I know somebody. I'm going to refer you to them. I said, okay. As a matter of fact, I'm going to call you right back. So he did talk to a surgeon. He said, I got you in for Monday at 4 o'clock. So you're going to see this doctor at 4 o'clock. This is the address where you're going to go see the doctor at. I said, okay. So I went to work, got off work that day. Me and my husband drove. My husband took off work. We drove to the surgeon's office. No, we met at the surgeon's office. Yeah, we met at the surgeon's office. And my mom and stepdad met me at the surgeon's office. I gave them the address. So we all talked, and I think we talked from 4 o'clock to 7 o'clock that day. And I just cried. And Dr. Kelly Dempsey, I love that lady. Matter of fact, I'm supposed to see her soon. She ministered to me, and she just, I still have my wrap cloth that she gave me as a ministry. She has a ministry at her church where she makes scarves for women, that get cold when they go through chemo and stuff like that. So I picked this beautiful blue, it's like blue fur on one side and this purple and blue paisley on the other. It is just so beautiful. And so she said, you don't have to be a superwoman. You don't have to pretend to keep being normal. You can relax, let everybody else, take the wheel, let everybody else do what they need to do, And I'm like, okay, all right, so I did that with that. So shortly after, me and my husband, the same evening, we were in pursuit of foster to adoption. We had gone through everything to foster adopt kids because we couldn't have kids of our own, due to our health challenges. We just tried and we just couldn't. And so we went through some things, went through all the classes, spent all the money, bought furniture, different things like that, just so that we can adopt kids. And this came up, and it kind of like was a blow to my face, And this is about the second time. First time I went through one adoption agency, but I was in graduate school, finishing up my master's, my MBA degree. And I guess I took too long to present all the paperwork. I took too long, and they got angry with us. And it was a popular adoption agency that we were going through. And they told us that we had to close your file because you were taking too long. And if y'all want to go through it, if you're serious, then you have to appeal. Well, I was like, well, it's more than just one of y'all in Houston, so I just tried another one. And one of my sorority sisters told me about the one that we went through in 2012. And, we went through everything. I mean, we drove from Chandlerview to Conroe every Saturday for like 2 months. And I kept feeling once we finished the classes, I was waiting. The last thing we were waiting on was the social visit. That was the last thing. We were just waiting on that. And I kept telling those people, because I kept having a feeling in my spirit. I said, something's getting ready to happen. Something's getting ready to happen. I just couldn't put my finger on it. What was it? And the whole summer, and I kept emailing, calling, emailing, calling, emailing. I'm like, would y'all please come on to social visit? Because I don't know it's taking y'all so long, but I wish y'all come on. But something kept coming at me where it's just something is getting ready to happen. And it wasn't like a good feeling. Lo and behold, it was me. I had no idea that breast cancer was going to affect me. None at all. And so that same evening after I saw Dr. Dempsey, my husband and I had been planning on buying a Honda van, for the kids, for our children. And, I didn't know whether I was just so overwhelmed because I was going to trade in my Ford Mustang. That was about the second sports car I had bought myself. And I said, I feel like doing nothing. I didn't want to do anything. He's like, no, we gotta press forward. We gotta press forward. I'm like, Bobby, I really don't. He's like, no, let's go over to the dealership. And let's do it anyway, because we ain't gonna let the devil. I said, whatever, dude, whatever, dude. So we went out to the dealership, drove off the lot with a brand new van, brand smack new, and it was nice. It took me a while to get used to. It was nice, and still, I rode to work. My Aunt Jean called me. She talked to me. She ministered to me. That was so sweet of her. And I enjoyed it. And it really helped me out. Told my students, and I got ready for my breast surgery. Oh, the devil got busy the night before. One of my old bosses had called me trying to get me upset. I said, mind over matter. You're not gonna do that. Not gonna go under the knife the next morning. You are not gonna stress me out. The devil is a lie. So I took control. I got all right, and was getting ready for my right breast mastectomy. And right before I was getting ready to have the surgery, guess who calls? The foster to adoption agency calls me. Hi, Miss Harper. You won the lottery to have your social visit. You won the lottery, the parent lottery. And I'm like, oh, really? I said, yeah. I said, well, guess what? What? I'm fixing to have my right breast mastectomy. Really? I said, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. Oh, I said, yeah. And I've been trying to contact y'all and email y'all and tell y'all to come on. I left so many messages, and y'all just like, whatever with me, whatever with me, whatever with me. And here we are. I had no idea this was going to happen to me. Oh, Miss Harper, we're so sorry. I said, yes, okay. Well, let us know. I said, sweetie, I have a feeling it's going to be a long time because I may have to go through chemo, and I don't know. At that time, I didn't know. So I had my right breast mastectomy. It was very successful. The healing process took work because my scar, my surgical area, wasn't sticking to my chest wall. So they were saying, okay, Miss Harper, we have to go back in and scrape your chest wall so that it'll dry and stick because you need to have this chemo. You might need to have this port put in. I said, okay. So, I went back under the knife and it got dry. And that same night, November 1st, they did a BRCA test, BRCA analysis test. And that test will tell you if it's hereditary or what. So it didn't come back till January, like right after, right after I had the second surgery of my wound, so it could stick to my chest wall and dry. Because in case at that time they said in case I had to go through chemo, I won't be infected. I said okay. So by the time they did that, they Miss Harper, um, you have to have chemo. And I was like, I cried. It was me and my best friend. My best friend Jackie was with me that day. And I said, okay. I said, well, how much chemo do I need to have? She says, um, well, you have to have 16 rounds. I said, 16 rounds? I said, how does that work? And so she said, well, you got to have 12 rounds every Friday, and you got to have 4 rounds every 3 days, every 3 weeks. I said, okay. I said, well, will I have to have radiation? She says, no, you don't have to have radiation. I said, okay. So she referred me to an oncologist, Dr. Angel Arturo Rodriguez. Very good doctor, very nice, very sweet. And I went to go see him. And what was it about him? He talked to me, for a long time, just like Dr. Dempsey did, and I was very grateful to him. And, his pharmacist assistant was there that did the research. She was there, and her name was Tony. She said, if you have any questions, call me, let me know, blah, 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 blah. I said, okay. And they told me all the side effects, what would happen, and it was up to me. And I told them, I said, okay, yeah, I still want to have it. Don't worry about it. I still want to have it. So I went and had uh, the first round of chemo. And by the time I finished taking that first round of chemo, I was getting ready to take my license exam, my RHIA license exam. I didn't do well on that exam. I couldn't think. I I just couldn't think. And I had long signed up for that exam and just got blown out the water with it. Anyway, mm, mm. So I knew I had bombed it, and so that was $300 wasted. Uh, and it was my niece's birthday, February 6th, 2013. I never forget. And I got all right when I got home. I said, well, I don't feel different. I feel all right. And then so about 2 or 3 more treatments later, you know, my hair started shedding. Now, when I first learned about the breast cancer, my hair was naturally long to my shoulders. And I told my beautician, cut all my hair off. She was like, no, I said, cut it off. And she was like, no. I said, okay, if you don't cut it off, I'm gonna sit up here and cut it myself. And so she gave me a cute Halle Berry hairstyle. It was right. When I found out about the chemo, then I asked her, I said, okay, they said I cut it off. And she was like, no. I said, yes. Her name was Shell, my beautician. Her name was Shell. Passed away in it it blew my mind. She passed away in an motorcycle. Just blew my mind. prayed me through. She loved me, prayer line, just God. So I finally went to Eddie from the barbershop. So Eddie was like, I got you, girl. And so he just clip the rest of me. And he took the razor. He say, now, the way I cut hair is going to grow back. I said, okay. And it grew real pretty. This is not my hair. My hair is natural curly. I don't curls. So I just rather put on a friend. I did that. Before then, hair pillows, it was falling in the. It was something I just say. That's why I told her just cut my hair. Hair to women is glory. It's framework, face work, if you will. And no woman wants hair like that. To naturally get your hair cut, but to fall out on its own, do something else totally different. So I went through and I was sleep on Fridays. I had my kids. I would drink water every Tuesday. And Tuesday be Taco Mexican Tuesday every Tuesday. So I would have that. I would have wine. I would have, and after I have my wine, uh, I would. How can I say? Water for Wednesday, Thursday. I went on Friday. I mean, like you might as well live it up, girl. Just live it up. And so that. I'll never forget when my doctor 1 hour before my nieces and hey, and I zydecoed, I danced and I zydecoed all night long. I zydecoed dance all night long. And so everybody was like, "Girl, you were just dancing," and I was like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna dance my life away." They had no idea what I was saying. Well, you were just cutting up, girl. You Zydeco all night. I said, yeah. I said, I was just dancing my life away. I just needed to dance my life away. And they still couldn't catch it. And that's when I told my sister, and she cried. And I told my mom, she cried. So sometimes a person can be so outgoing or whatever. You never know what they're going through. They just trying to cover up their pain. And that's what I was doing. I was trying to cover up my pain through dancing. And I must have danced like 10 songs straight, and that's what I used to do back in the young days, before I met Bobby, I would dance, 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 dance. Anyway, so I had those 12 rounds of chemo. Then I had the last 4 rounds of chemo. That was the hardest chemo ever. I took the first round. I really didn't sense anything. It was called the Red Devil. The last 4 rounds was the Red Devil. This time, my hair fell out. My eyelashes had already fallen out. My eyebrows had fallen out. Hair in secretive places had fallen out. By this time, taking that Red Devil, it made my nails lift. They turned purple and they lifted, off the nail bed. So my husband was kind enough to bring home some, what do you call that? Cloth gloves for me because I couldn't do my regular whatever activities during the day around the house without having some cloth gloves on. Because if I did, at the moment I touched something, my nails would lift and fall off. It was very painful when it did because it was like falling on its hinges. It was right on its hinges. And then my toenails turned purple and it started lifting. My nose was sensitive to things. My mother was trying to fry salmon. It was the most god awful smell. I mean, I love salmon. Don't get me wrong. Love to eat it. It was the most god awful smell I've ever had in my nose ever. Um, what else? Bacon, onions. There's this dish soap by Soft Soap made by It was a mixture of watermelon and cucumbers. It's just the smell of it went into my nose. Just the smell of it tasted like uh tasted like how can I say, chemo. Tasted like chemo. And it was just awful. Um I never forget, how my life had changed. The refrigerator, every time I cleaned up the refrigerator, I had like 7 boxes of Arm& and Hammer in my refrigerator. And I keep a clean refrigerator, but it was like no matter how I cleaned my refrigerator, it still smelled bad. It still had an awful smell. And then I had one of my friends that would help me clean up. She say it's not the refrigerator. It's you. You're probably sensitive. I say, you're right. And it was a brand new refrigerator when we bought the house. It was brand new, so it wasn't nothing wrong with it. Then my freezer. I had like 3 and 4 boxes of Arm& and Hammer. I always kept my freezer clean. I still clean my freezers and my refrigerator. I still clean them out. I don't like to keep junk in them a long time. And so I got to a point I would put a facial mask on just so I couldn't smell the refrigerator. So anyhow, uh, that's all I have to say. It was quite a journey. I would have to get food from Luby's and places like that and have it in the refrigerator, you know, um, days at a time. I had to drink a lot of lemon water because my taste buds be off. I couldn't use silverware. I had to use plasticware. Um, I slept a lot. I tried to do the dishes and clean up. I couldn't, so I had to get some help to help me with that. If I did the dishes or whatever, I had to sit in a chair and do the dishes. It was just that draining. I'm better now. I take a 10-year um, regimen, if you will, chemotherapy pill regimen. I took 3 years of tamoxifen. I just finished up 2 years of aromasin, and I'm back on tamoxifen for the next 10 years. So I still get hot flashes. I still get a little tired. I try to push myself. Like yesterday, I had a long week, and yesterday I had a long day. And I was, pretty much relaxing on Friday. But, um, it will kind of slow you down at times. And then there are other times I'm upbeat and alert. But I don't punish myself or I don't allow other people to make me feel bad because I don't participate in what they do or what they want to do. Um, so I'm real happy that I'm securing my personal being. So what I'm saying to women out there and men, who deal with breast cancer as well, don't allow people to push you in places and situations that's beyond your energy of measure or your measure of energy, if you will. If all you can do is all you can do, it's just all you can do, sweetie. Uh, don't allow people to make you feel like you uh, lazy. You're not lazy, or you're uh, making excuses. You're not making excuses because number one, they don't walk the walk. They don't go through what you went through. They don't know what you went through or how you went through. To me, everybody's path is different to the same race. It's all about how you endure your race. I don't look to the left and I don't look to the right. I keep my mind focused on Jesus and what I'm doing, and that's all I have to do. I don't allow myself to get caught up, in trying to be like somebody else. I'm securing who I am. and I'm securing my personal being, and I know what I'm apt to do and what I'm not apt to do. And if you don't like it, too bad. You can kiss where the sun don't shine. I don't really care. Because you're not the one that's gone through all that I've gone through. I've been through a lot, and I do mean a lot. And so be good to yourself, love on yourself, and take care of yourself. Live every day to the fullest and to the best of your ability. Encourage other people. That's what I did. Enjoy yourself. That's what I did. I just enjoyed myself. And forgive yourself. Don't, you know, yes, I'm an educator, a health educator and stuff like that, but I forgave myself. I'm like, how did I let this happen? And how come stuff happens? Stuff happens. It's not your fault. It just happens. And you try to live the best life that God has given you and be grateful to that every day. Because I have a lot of survivor friends, sister survivors who didn't make it, you know, and I just tell God, thank you so much, not only for allowing me to come through and see this day, but to come through empowered, and to empower other women um, to make it through a journey that others, I'm not going to say that they did make it. I'm going to say that their race was won in their capsulated time. And they won their race. I'm not going to say they lost their race. They won their race. And it was time for them to go rest. That's how I'm going to see it. And so I'm still running my race. I'm still running this marathon until Jesus Christ says, you won. You with me in heaven now. You won. So I'm not going to say it's a battle lost. I think it's, to me, a battle is lost is when you don't receive Jesus Christ as your personal Lord and Savior. And I see this, who is this person on my screen here? David Ranker, you asking me a personal question, and I'm not going to even acknowledge that question, but I will say this to you, sir. It's none of your business, okay? You're not my physician, so don't ever ask me that question again, okay? I don't entertain foolishness, okay? I'm a very serious-minded woman, so don't ever approach me with that question again, okay? Keep it clean. Keep it clean. If you're going to be on my tube, keep it clean. Thank you. So therefore, take care of yourself. You don't have to prove nothing to nobody but God Almighty. Take care of yourself. All right. Peace out. I love you. If you have any other questions, please inbox me on my whatever it is on the bottom of Google, whatever it is. And I love you. Peace out. This is your number one professor, your teacher of all times, Tara Ann Harper, for your health information. Have a good day.